John, I'm glad I walked. How fresh the meadows look above the river, and but a month ago the whole hillside was redder than a fox. Is yon plantation where this byway joins the turnpike? James. Yes. John. And when does this come by? James. The mail at 1 o'clock? John. What is it now? James. 1/4 to? John. Whose house is that I see? No, not the county member's with the vane, up higher, with the yew tree by it, and half a score of gables. James. That Sir Edward Head's, but he's abroad. The place is to be sold. John. Oh, his. He was not broken. James. No, sir, he, vexed with the morbid devil in his blood, that veiled the world with jaundice, hid his face from all men, and conversing with himself, he lost the sense that handles daily life, that keeps us all in order, more or less, and sick of home when overseas for change. John. And whither? James. Nay, who knows? He's here and there, but let him go, his devil goes with him, as well as with his tenant. Jockey Dawes. John. What's that? James. You saw the man on Monday, was it? There by the hump-backed willow, half stands up and bristles, half has fallen and made a bridge, and there he caught the younker tickling trout, caught in a flagrant, what's the Latin word? Delicto. But his house, for so they say, was haunted with the jolly ghost that shook. The curtains whined in lobbies, tapped at doors, and rummaged like a rat. No servant stayed. The farmer, vexed, packs up his beds and chairs, and all his household stuff, and with his boy betwixt his knees, his wife upon the tilt, sets out and meets a friend who hails him. What, you're flitting? Yes, we're flitting, says the ghost, for they had packed the thing among the beds. Oh, well, says he, you flitting with us too. Jack turned the horse's head, and home again. John. He left his wife behind, for so I heard. James. He left her, yes. I met my lady once, a woman like a butt, and harsh as crabs. John. Oh, yet, but I remember 10 years back. 'Tis now at least 10 years, and then she was. You could not light upon a sweeter thing, a body slight and round like a pear, in growing modest eyes, a hand, a foot, lessening in perfect cadence, and a skin as clean and white as privet when it flowers. Privet? When it flowers. James. The blossom fades, and they that loved at first like dove and dove were cat and dog. She was the daughter of a cottager, out of her sphere, what betwixt shame and pride, new things and old, himself and her, she soured to what she is, a nature never kind, and men like manners, like men like manners, like breeds like, they say, kind nature is the best, those manners next, that fit us like a nature, second hand, which are indeed the manners of the great. John. But I had heard it was this bill that passed, and fear of change at home that drove him hence. James. That was the last drop in the cup of gall. I once was near him when his bailiff brought a Chartist pike. You should have seen him wince, as from a venomous thing. He thought himself a mark for all, and shuddered lest a cry should break his sleep by night, and his nice eyes should see the raw mechanic's bloody thumbs sweat on his blazoned chairs. But, sir, you know that these two parties still divide the world, of those that want and those that have, and still the same old sore breaks out from age to age, with much the same result. Now I myself, a Tory to the quick, was a boy, destructive when I had not what I would. I was at school, a college in the South. There lived a flay flint near. We stole his fruit, his hens, his eggs, but there was law for us. We paid in person. He had a sow, sir. She, with meditative grunts of much content, lay great with pig, wallowing in sun and mud. By night we dragged her to the college tower, from her warm bed, and up the corkscrew stair. With hand and rope we hailed the groaning sow, and on the leads we kept her till she pigged. Large range of prospect had the mother sow, and but for daily loss of one she loved, as one by one we took them, but for this, as never sow was higher in this world, might have been happy, but what lot is pure? We took them all till she was left alone upon her tower, that Niobe of swine, and so returned unfurrowed to her sty. John, they found you out, James, not they. John, well, after all, what know we of the secret of a man? His nerves were wrong. What ails us, who are sound, that we should mimic this raw fool of the world, which charts us all in its coarse blacks or whites, as ruthless as a baby with a worm, as cruel as a schoolboy ere he grows, to pity more from ignorance than will. But put your best foot forward, or I fear that we shall miss the mail. And here it comes, with 5 at top, as quaint a 4 in hand, as you shall see 3 piebalds and a roan. It used to be that the judgment of the mailman was feared enough to keep some people behaving of what they can do here and far. But a main subject of this is how, are you going to love people for the outer appearance they have now, or the sort of person they're going to be? John, I'm glad I walked. How fresh the country looks is yonder planting where this byway joins the turnpike. And courses are going to join each other, so prepare yourself for that. John, whose house is it that I see beyond the watermills? James, Sir Edward heads, but he's abroad. And sometimes you think you're approaching opportunity, but it's not actually there. James, you saw the man but yesterday. He picked the pebble from your horse's foot. His house was haunted by a jolly ghost that rummaged like a rat. Now we all have to deal with the past in some sense. I am that am, now I that am. Scored upon the part which cherubs want. Now cherub, I guess it's like a worshiping thing. People play this etymological sort of thing and say, well, what about in other languages? Well, let's leave that to the side. So they're not these baby things that we see, but, well, spiritual beings always have a transcendent element, so when we talk about them, we're not quite getting it.